Good afternoon, friends. Now we are discussing capillarity in fluids. What is capillarity? So it is defined as a phenomena of rise or fall of liquid surface in a small tube. That is, assume that you are going to immerse a glass tube into a vessel filled with some liquid. So immediately you will observe that some liquid will rise into the glass tube relative to the adjacent general level of the liquid when the tube is held vertically inside the liquid. So this rise or fall of the liquid surface in the small tube will be called as capillarity. So if there is a rise of the liquid surface in the glass tube immersed, so that is known as capillary rise. If you find the fall of the liquid surface in the tube immersed, so it is known as capillary depression or fall. So first of all, what is this capillarity and why it is due to? So the value of this capillarity will depend upon the specific weight of the liquid. So diameter of the tube, which is immersed, and the surface tension of the liquid. So the capillarity is mainly due to surface tension of the liquid. So that is we have the force of attraction. So here when the glass tube is immersed inside the liquid in a container, so here the water molecules will be getting attracted towards the glass molecules. So the level of the liquid will rise inside the glass tube. So how much to what height the liquid has rise, so that depends upon the specific weight of the liquid. So what will be the diameter of the tube immersed, and mainly the surface tension of the liquid. So since it is the amount of rise or the amount of fall of the liquid surface in the glass tube, so capillarity is expressed in terms of centimeter or millimeter of the liquid. So expression for capillary rise. So here consider a glass tube of a diameter D. So this is having a smaller diameter D here. So it is opened on both the ends of the tube. So and it is inserted in a liquid, say water. So the liquid will rise in the tube above the level of the liquid. So let h is the height of the liquid in the tube here. So h is the height of liquid in the tube. Sigma is the surface tension of the liquid, which we already discussed what is surface tension is. And theta is the angle of contact between the liquid and the glass tube. So that depends on the meniscus here. So meniscus. So if the meniscus is exactly horizontal here, so the value of theta will be 0. But if you have some meniscus here, so the theta is having some value. So theta is the angle of contact between the liquid and the glass tube. Now what is the weight of the liquid of height h in the tube? So weight is given by, so we know that the density is equal to weight by volume. So weight is now density into volume. So here the weight density is given by rho into g, and the volume is given as area of the tube into h, that is height of the liquid rise in the tube. So weight density is equal to weight by volume. So weight is equal to weight density multiplied by the volume. So weight density is rho into g, volume is area of the tube into h. So area of the tube is now pi d square by 4 into h is the height of liquid in the tube. So that gives the volume of liquid now. So pi d square by 4 into h. So weight density is rho into g. So weight of the liquid in the tube is now given as pi d square by 4 into h, into rho into G. So now vertical component of the liquid tensile force. So that is, so this liquid force, so that is having the surface tension sigma here. So surface tensile force. So now surface area. So that is given as pi into d. So that is the circumference. So multiplied by sigma. So that is my surface tensile force is nothing but surface tension sigma, right? So its vertical component is now sigma cos theta. So that is, since here sigma is considered as an inclined force, so if you resolve this inclined force into its vertical component, so that is we have along the glass tube it is sigma cos theta, and along this surface of the liquid, so it is sigma sin theta. So along the glass tube it is sigma cos theta. So the vertical component of this surface tensile force is sigma cos theta. So surface tension is having the vertical component of sigma cos theta. It is acting on the periphery of the glass tube. So that is sigma cos theta into circumference. So that is pi into d. Now for equilibrium, so that is the liquid has to stand in this glass tube. So the level of the liquid so is balanced now because of the surface tension. So the weight of the liquid component is balanced by this surface tensile force. So that's why the liquid level will be maintained in the glass tube. Whatever height the liquid has risen, so that height will be maintained. So it is because of the equilibrium between the two forces. So one is the vertical component of the surface tensile force, that is sigma pi d cos theta, as we seen here. The other force is the weight of the liquid component in the tube. So both are equated. So we have H is equal to 4 sigma cos theta by rho G D on simplification. So that is the height of the liquid in the glass tube. So the value of theta between the water and the glass tube is almost approximately equal to 0. If you consider theta as 0 here, so if you consider theta is 0 when the liquid taken under consideration is water, so theta is 0. In such case cos 0 is 1. So we have H is equal to 4 sigma by rho G D. So then expression for capillary fall. So if the glass tube is dipped in mercury, so then mercury is heavier than glass, so there will not be any rise of mercury in the glass tube. So the level of mercury in the tube will be lower than the general level of outside liquid as shown in the figure. So H is the height of depression, mercury depression in the tube here as shown. So surface tension acting in the downward direction is the same as we seen in capillary rise, sigma cos theta into pi into d. So the hydrostatic force that is acting upwards, so that is trying to pull the glass tube outside the mercury, right, will be equal to intensity of the pressure. So that is equal to P into pi d square by 4. Intensity of pressure P is rho GH, so that is given by hydrostatic law. So that we are going to discuss in the coming session. So P is rho GH into pi d square by 4. Equating the two forces, we have this equation. Thank you, friends.